Hi everyone, thanks for watching this video today. We're here with Nancy Inman, M.A.T, CCC-SLP, and creator of Inman Innovations and all of the WordPowers, and Belva Holman, BAED, ATP/ATACP, and consultant at Control Bionics. So today we gathered Belva and Nancy here to talk about the new versions of WordPower that she created with some suggestions from Belva. So we just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into these versions, who they're best suited for, and some tactics for helping users with these new versions. So we'll go right into it. What is WordPower for Grid 3 for people who aren't familiar with it?
Well, WordPower is a word-based vocabulary, and I have a long history with the grid. I've had other versions of my product, and so there is there's now a 25 location version, a 60 location version, and there was a 100 location version. And several months ago, Belva approached me and told me that she was working with several very high functioning ALS clients. And so we started talking about doing a version of WordPower with the keyboard on the main page so that somebody can flow seamlessly between using core words and spelling and word prediction. And then after we finished that, we did another 100 location version that was designed for scanners. So someone that needs a switch to access their communication system.
Awesome. So you kind of went into it a little bit with the ALS patients, but is that kind of what the need was for an update? Is that, Belva, maybe where did you see this need for having this keyboard available?
So while working with my clients and also other consultants working with their clients, we kept hearing the need for something a little bit more in depth or robust. Or some of my clients still were working and or going to school, and they needed to have the ability to be able to get to more words, spelling, and then the document and the emailing was a real important issue for them as well. And the way it was before was a little bit more difficult. And so I wanted to make it, I knew there was a way to make it easier for them and more accessible for them to be able to flow easier and help them be successful both at whether it was work or school or whatever it was. So that's kind of where I started thinking, you know, because the 100 that was there was already, it was good, but it had a few things that just needed to be tweaked and changed to allow these people, these individuals that had these other needs to be able to access it easier. And so I knew I could do that.
I was very open to Belva's suggestion because I had been thinking about it for a long time also, because this is actually the version of WordPower that you're looking at now that has core words, spelling, and of course, as soon as you select a letter, you go into word prediction. That was my very first, years ago, that was how my very first version of WordPower was designed. So I just had not done it yet with this platform and with this version of the grid. So anyway, I was very open to that. And then it was nice because I think one of the reasons that people like the grid so much is that, of course, you can purchase it with a device, but you can also just purchase the software and put it onto a Windows platform that you want to put it on. And I think the company has done a really nice job with computer access and ability to use the communication system to access email and texting and control it of the computer. So, and then we also did a few things, like we really worked on the medical category with the idea that several people that I know Belva was working with had significant medical issues. So we wanted to be sure that that category was would meet their needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's actually a great segue into kind of our next topic. So I know there's a couple different updated groups and different things that you guys changed in here. So do you want to go into that a little bit, maybe starting with that, with the documents and email and texting?
Okay, all right. So, well, maybe I'll just show just spend a minute just showing the first page, just make sure everybody's good on that. Does that sound okay, Beth?
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you can see on the top row, the keys that have the all capitals, those are links to categories. So if I select time, it takes me to a time page that has days of the week and months. And then if I hit this key again, it actually says the time. And then you have a link for questions. And you have a link for people. Of course, people and places have lots of blanks because you're meant to go in and customize these keys. And places is sort of set up with color coding, like the pink are buildings, and then yellow are places related to the home, and the green have outside places. And then there's a link to restaurants, stores, and geography. And then extra words, and then a link to actions. And just so let me just say something quickly about describe and actions. So you can see the describing words are, this area here is sort of feelings words, hungry, thirsty, tired, sick, happy, sad, but most of the adjectives are done in opposite. So big and little, broken, fixed, clean and dirty. And then for words that are less commonly used, you can always hit describe A to Z, and then describing a word that starts with K, or a describing word that starts with N. That's how you get to those. And it works similarly with actions. So here are your action words in addition to the ones on the main page. And then you also have actions A to Z. So, so the idea behind this would be that somebody can communicate, let's see, I am, and then after am, everything turns into the present progressive, going
to the.
Now concert may well be on the music page, but so I can go to groups and go to music, or I can just start spelling. Oh, I was gonna spell concert. I was going to the
concert with my friends. I am going to the concert with my friends.
Okay. So that's
And one
just
of the, Nancy, I don't mean to interrupt, but one of the things that people might not be aware of if they're not familiar with WordPower, which that's odd to me, but anyway, the smart punctuation, because I was asked that just the other day, how do I get this to speak? And so you've set this up with smart punctuation. So you might want to talk about that too.
Okay, so whenever you hit the period or the question mark or the exclamation point, it will add the punctuation at the end of the sentence. It'll speak the sentence, and then your next sentence will automatically be capitalized. So if I want to ask a question, like what if I wanted to ask the question, are you coming with me? Well, obviously are is not here on the main page. It is once you select you. Then this becomes are. But if you wanted to start your sentence with are, you'd go to the question words, and there it is.
Are you going to the.
If I wanted to say, are you going to the store?
Store.
So then when I hit the question mark.
Are you going to the store?
And then, and if I wanted to say, come with me, I don't have to clear my display. I can just say,
come with me.
And you can see how it capitalized that word. And then if I wanted to do an exclamation point,
come with me,
it does the same thing there. On the second row, on the second page, so these are all links to categories. So links to games, links to food. And one of the things that I did on this vocabulary is I've added the core vocabulary to the categories. So if I'm on this page, I can say, I
am going to eat crackers.
Now, if I wanted to say for dinner, I don't have the word for here. So I can just select this key. It'll pop me
For
right back.
dinner. I am going to eat crackers for dinner.
So I can use my core vocabulary within the categories. I could also have said the same sentence by going,
I am going to
I
eat
can use this link to go right to food.
crackers.
So hopefully
I am going to eat
that makes
crackers.
sense, that you have the advantage of having the core, whether you're on the main page or within your categories. And then, there's for some of the categories, like the reading category, you have the verb read here. So let's generate one more sentence.
My
If I wanted to say my favorite story.
favorite story is
And then whatever I want to write. So then I can go to groups, and I can go to documents. And so I'm actually just going to clear this out. So I can start a new document. And I need to move this so I can. Can you guys see what I'm doing here or not?
We can see the document preview.
Okay. So
I'm going to be at the party.
So I can generate text by actually just spelling like I just did, or I can also generate text. I'm going to go home right now, and I'm going to put some text in.
Do you want to come with me? Do you want to come with me?
And so I'll go back to the documents, and paste that, edit that. And you see, I use that paste chat feature, so I can paste my information from the window, or I can spell. So we made it work both ways.
And is documents also a choice when you go into the shift on the home key, Nancy, to be able to come up
Yes, you can.
under the share?
Right. So there's a feature called share, which was new to me. I had never used that before. But you can, when you hit share, you can put that text, whatever you've generated, you can save it into a document. So actually, I'll go ahead and clear this display, and I'll generate one more sentence.
I am feeling really happy. I am feeling really
When I
happy.
hit shift and share, I can say add to document. So I just added it to the document that we were working on.
And all these flexibilities just made it so much easier for those people that are still working or going to school or, need these kinds of tools at their fingertips, so to speak. So it just made it a more even better than it already was.
Yeah, it was fun because we learned about some of the new features that were available that I hadn't known about before. We could also send this document as an email, or we can go into tools, and we have all kinds of things that we can do. Okay, yes. I'm going to select all. There we go. And I'm going to make my text bold. Okay. Or I can make it italicized or whatever. So it's very flexible software.
And like you said, this would be helpful for people that are still working or, wanted to have more document-like abilities to be able to write out emails and then be able to text or send these emails.
Exactly.
But having, both the keyboard and then the core there as well.
Right. And then for email, it kind of works the same way. So these are, this is set up with my Gmail account. I can scroll down through my Gmails. I can go up by 5. I can go to the top. And then also, again, if I go back home and I put together a sentence, let's see, I'm going to say, what did you
do last night? What did you do last night?
And I can share that, and I can send it as an email. So here's my email. It's not going to anybody right now. I can say, oh, I want that to go to Belva. And then I can just send it right there. I mean, the email feature is really nice, very flexible. Again, if I could have gone into the email and pasted my chat. So now I just pasted it. So that's why you're seeing it there twice. And we also built a page for email. So when you're emailing someone, you have quick, easy messages.
Did you have a good weekend?
Add to your email. Write to myself and compose. And then here are your messages.
Hello.
And we set up a page of names. So you could say,
Belva.
Hello,
You
Belva.
always do that, and they never say it right.
Hello, Belva.
Belva.
What's up? How are you? I look forward to hearing from you.
Okay.
And of course, all
Lots
these
of love.
can be edited as well if people never would say what's up or whatever,
Right.
Of course, with the way it's built.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a lot of nice features, and I think this share feature is very cool. We were really happy with that because one of the differences in some of their tools, if you composed a message and you went to email, it would always start a new email or start a new document. But this gave us the feature just to add it to the existing document. So we like that. And you can, of course, copy to a clipboard or paste. And I think one of the things I've always said I enjoy about the grid software is because it is very intuitive Windows software. And if people know Windows software, I think it's fairly easy to program, even though we had a lot to learn, didn't we, Belva? There were a lot of new things.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you guys like me to show you next?
Sure. I think one of the
Did we
other
go over
highlights,
the medical terms, right?
Oh, yes.
yes,
Okay.
I think that was one of the main updates we wanted to highlight was the medical technology page.
Okay. So if I go to the medical page, we can, again, you've got your core vocabulary here, but we can say,
Something hurts, it's my head. Something hurts, it's my head. Something hurts, it's my hip.
and then, you know,
Please rub my leg. Please move my
so all
feet.
of these sort of jump over to the body page. So please,
Please scratch my arm.
and then these messages,
Please put on the pap. Pipa, please take off the pap. I need suctioning. My mouth is dry.
and here,
I have a fever. I have a fever. I have a headache. I have a sore throat.
and then down here, blanket, call bell, glasses. And, you know, there are still blanks, so people can certainly add what they need. Do you want to say anything else about this page, Belva?
No, we just tried to put the most common things that we hear on here with, like what Nancy said, there's always empty buttons that they can always add, or if they don't ever use them, change it. But I think this was a nice change that we did. We kind of combined some of the medical pages that Nancy had already done in some of the others too.
And some of the things that was already there with the grid also.
Yes, that's, yep.
Yeah, we used some of definitely used their ideas too.
Yeah, so this is a nice page.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep everything convenient and have that available for people. I think that's definitely important.
We also did a low-tech board that could be printed out. And so it kind of goes with the general program because obviously people don't always have access to their device. So we did that. Would you like me to jump over to the scanning now?
Sure. Yeah, I think that was up there next is kind of going to that scanning one as well and how that would work. And then any, tips and tricks for people starting with the scanning, how they would go through this.
Okay. So the scanning groups, you can see the groups. So, on your main page, I've obviously organized it so that the first group has, some links, and then it has your categories, your pronouns, your punctuation, has articles and questions. And then the second group has the really high frequency verbs, the infinitive to, and some of the helping verbs. And then the third group is where your spelling, your letters are, and they're organized by frequency. And this is an arrangement that's done for scanning. So obviously the most common letters are up here first. And so like if I was going to spell a word like reading, I'll show you how that works. So as soon as I start spelling, all the other words disappear. I could keep spelling, but I'll just show you when I choose the word from the word prediction list,
reading,
then everything else appears and I can start, it'll start scanning everything. So all of that is done just in an effort to make things as efficient as possible. And there's really the same vocabulary content as in this, as in the other program that we just looked at. So if I select groups, you can see that the groups still exist, but again, they're all put into scanning groups to make things more efficient. And then if I were to go into a category, for example, I'll go into animals. You can see we have the core, and then we have pets and farm animals and wild animals. So everything is, again, sort of done via grouping to make things easy to find. If we go to foods, you can see the first page is snacks, and then along the bottom row are my food groups. So if we want to go to breakfast foods, we would scan here. And one of the questions that came up was, how to teach scanning or how to work with scanning. Of course, that's a big question, but with my scanners, first of all, you want to figure out what kind of scanning they're going to be doing. Are they going to be doing auto scanning? Are they going to be using single switch scanning or two switch scanning? But so you first just want to make sure someone can look at a screen and anticipate and select a switch. So I mean, I might use something very basic where I might help the client by figuring out the timing. You want to slow it down so it's not too fast. And you might give cues like hit, hit, hit. And then you can sort of figure out what kind of speed they're able to monitor. And then you want to figure out, is this too much? Or visually, can they look at this whole screen, or do they need fewer cells? I also think learning scanning can sometimes be helpful if they are looking at a category. If they're, for example, at the clothes category, it might not be quite so busy to work on saying, I want my shirt.
I want my shirt. I want my shirt.
So that might be a little bit easier than starting right off on the main page. But it's just the individual client. Some people can jump right in and other people need to work up to it.
You ever hide buttons, Nancy?
I do sometimes hide buttons, but I don't love to hide buttons with WordPower. I think rather than hiding buttons, I might do what I was just saying. I think if you went to a category, by definition, everything is not covered. And so I probably would be more likely to work on a category rather than hiding buttons. But some people really like to hide buttons.
Yeah, I think this is a nice strategy because all of your core words are within that category.
Right. And all the core words are in the same place.
Yeah.
No matter,
So it gives them that pattern.
Yes, you're still learning your core, even though you're not on the main page.
Exactly.
So that,
Yeah.
that would be a nice strategy.
Mhm.
And again, on those categories in the scanning, if I go to art, just like with the direct select, we have a link that takes us to a spelling page. So somebody could spell one word and then it would jump back to
I'm
that page.
And on the category page, I don't know if you noticed that also that Nancy put some suggestions for scanning on there.
I was just going to say that,
Oh,
Belva.
sorry, Nancy.
That's perfect. So here there's actually Belva and I worked on this together, scanning suggestions.
scanning suggestions.
And so there's all different kinds of settings and ways that you can set up the scanning. So we just wrote out, I just wrote out what I thought were ideal, so that these settings might be where you'd want to start and then work from there. Change your highlighting color if you want to, change the speed. Of course, your speed of your scan is very important and unique to the individual. I worked with a lot of scanners. I used to work with this young woman. She was using WordPower. She was using a program that I wrote. She was so fast, I couldn't follow her. You know what I mean? She communicated with it all the time. And it was fascinating to watch her because she was just like, bam, bam, bam. And so everything just became so automatic to her. And even though she only could use a head switch, she couldn't use her upper extremities. She was a fabulous scanner and a really good communicator.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's probably kind of a good segue into different access methods and how you could use this software. So you had switch as an example, but Belva, I don't know if you have any examples with people using the trilogy or using the NeuroNode to activate and use this software.
Yeah, well, and definitely my clients use the NeuroNode to access it. And so, and I guess I do have some that, well, no, most of them are using the NeuroNode with this. So that's my experience with this one so far, with this vocabulary. Using the eye gaze, but using their NeuroNode to access.
So they're using the eye gaze
on the other one, the eye gaze, and then with this one, just scan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for walking us through the new updates and kind of giving us some tips and tricks, especially for scanning. I think having the flexibility of the keyboard in there and the intuitive pages when you're finished with one thing, it knows to go back to another page is really cool and really interesting to see. Is there anything else you guys wanted to mention?
I don't know. I don't think it was called out, but Nancy also put on the scanning, you'll notice that the alphabet or the keyboard is placed. You want to talk about a little bit about that, Nancy, how you place the letters for the scanning for the most common vowels and such?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying that this is a scanning arrangement for the letters. So you'll see down the letters you would get to last were, W, Z, and Q. And this is not my invention. This is, but this is the same keyboard arrangements I've used in all my scanning vocabularies. And so, yeah, I think hopefully it's a tried and true arrangement and it works for people.
Mm-hmm. Which again can be changed, but yeah.
Yeah, you certainly could change it.
Yeah, I think that could be something that you wouldn't necessarily think about, that, a regular setup keyboard is not going to work as well for someone because you do want those most used letters up front. So I think that's really cool. That's a really good way to look at it.
One of the things that's so nice about the grid software, it has a really nice word predictor. And that is so important for people that are using a vocabulary like this. I mean, they're relying on spelling and word prediction. So you know, I think it's important, you know, personally, if you're using WordPower, I believe that your clients should not be spelling out a word like would, or they shouldn't be spelling out think. They should take advantage. They should really know their core. They should know all the words on this main page. But a lot of clients use the category pages, but a lot of clients just use the core and spelling and word prediction. And that's fine too. I always feel like it's my job to make sure people know all the features that are available in the software, and then they decide how they're going to use it.
Yeah, and that's right, Nancy, because I have several clients that, you know, they have language history, they have literacy skills, and they want to use it that way. And even though I try to encourage them to use the buttons with the words already on it because it's quicker, some of them will eventually do that, but some of them are just, that's what they want to do, is spell everything and use some of the words, but you know, so that, yeah, it just depends on that individual and their mindset.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
work
that flexibility is important, that, you know, you can have mix and match different ways of communicating.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I hope we kind of gave you a good overview of it.
Yes, absolutely. I think this was great. I really appreciate you guys talking to us today and recording this video so we can kind of see those updates and see how people can use these new page sets. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.